Hello guys, let me introduce myself. My name is Valencia. My student ID number is 221011060024. In this presentation, I will discuss about introduction, literature review, application, and conclusion. In this presentation, I will discuss about introduction, literature review, application, discussion, and conclusion. Before we entering the general discussion, I will explain about the abstract. So, graph coloring is a crucial topic in graph theory, applied to numerous real-world problems like scheduling, radio frequency allocation, and network optimization. The graph coloring problem typically involves assigning colors to graph elements so that adjacent elements do not share the same color. This research primarily focuses on vertex coloring, where each vertex must be unique colored compared to its neighbors. Additionally, we explore variations of the graph coloring problem, such as weighted graph coloring and planar graph coloring. Weighted graph coloring involves assigning weights to vertices or edges and optimizing a weight function. In summary, this research offers comprehensive insights into different graph coloring techniques, the associated challenge, and their potential application across various fields. Future research should focus on developing more efficient and adaptive algorithm tailored to specifically graph characteristics. Next, introduction. Graph coloring is one of the most important, well-known, and studied subfields of graph theory. Evidence of this can be found in various papers and books, where coloring is examined and the problem and conjectures associated with this field of research are described and solved. In this subsequent section of this paper, we provide a brief history of graph coloring and an overview of the types of coloring, problems, and conjectures associated with them, as well as their application. We compile various results in this field of study, providing the reader with an outline of graph coloring, its types, properties, and paper associated with previous research in this field. Furthermore, we focus on the algorithmic approach to solving several present types of graph coloring and problems connected with them. The field of graph coloring, along with related mathematical problems, has attracted the attention of mathematicians for a long period. In the mid-19th century, it was discovered that the administrative map of England, with all its regions, could be colored using only 4 colors. Each pair of adjacent regions was given a different color in this coloring. This raised an interesting question for many scientists: whether It is possible to color every political map that meets the above criteria using only 4 colors. The 4-color theorem is equivalent to the conjecture stating that every cubic map can be colored on its edges with 3 different colors. The problem remained unsolved until the computer era in 1976. Apple and Haeckel successfully solved the problem. They divided the problem into many classes of maps and created a computer algorithm to check whether the map could be colored using 4 colors in all possible cases. Next, literature review. Historically, the exploration of graph coloring dates back to the mid-19th century, marked notably by the elucidation of the 4-color theorem. This theorem's assertion that any map can be colored with no more than 4 hues without adjacent region sharing a color ignited considerable interest in graph coloring, laying a robust foundation for subsequent inquiries. Graph coloring entails assigning distinct color to the vertices of a graph, ensuring neighbors' vertices possess different color. The determination of the minimum requisite number of color, termed the chromatic number, poses a classic problem in graph theory, often proving and be hard and thus challenging to solve optimally for sizable graph. Various algorithm strategies have emerged to tackle graph coloring challenge. Greedy algorithm exemplified by De Sitter and Wells Power over pragmatic approximations by iteratively colorizing vertile based on defined criteria to minimize color usage while upholding adjacency constraint. Conversely, backtracking algorithm such as recursive backtracking and backjumping pursue extract solution methodically by exhaustively exploring potential color assignment. Graph coloring find myriad practical application across domains in scheduling scenarios. It facilitates conflict-free tasks or even arrangement, as in exam time planning or job scheduling endeavors within wireless communication networks. It aids in assigning non-interfering frequencies to transmitters, avoiding signal collisions among neighboring units. Moreover, in compiler design, map cartography, and traffic signal synchronization, graphic coloring optimize resource allocation and problem resolution. Next, application. The problem of proper vertex coloring for a given graph G is to color all the verticals of the graph with different color in such a way that any two adjacent having an edge connecting them vertices of G has assigned different colors. In terms of graph theory, a proper vertex coloring with K color is a mapping F V G to N such that for all Vi, Vj, Vg, I, not G if their X size and age. IA, AJ, then if I not VG. An example of proper vertex coloring is shown in figure 1. We can see to the picture over here. Vertex coloring of graph can represent a mathematical model of various resource assignment. An example of such a problem is to assign frequencies for station of a radio or mobile phone network, stations that are in broadcasting range, and so their signals won't interfere with each other, must be assigned at different frequencies. To address this issue, a mathematical representation of the network connection is formulated in this model. Stations are depicted as vertices, and the connection between them indicate conflict, signifying pairs of stations requiring distinct frequencies. This model essentially takes the form of a graph with a vertex coloring. Next, discussion about the advantage and limitation of graph coloring and the impact of graph properties on coloring. First one, advantage of graph coloring. Example in graph coloring offer an intuitive and effective solution to various optimization problems. By assigning colors to each vertex in a graph, we can easily identify and resolve conflicts among interconnection entities. For instance, in scheduling, graph coloring aids in allocating time for each task without overlap, ensuring efficiency and optimal resource utilization. The simple graphical representation of graph coloring facilitates interpretation and analysis by representing relationships between entities as verticals and the connection between verticals as age. Graph coloring presents a concept easily understood by various stakeholders. This makes it useful in communication and problem solving across different domains. Example, in social networks, graph coloring can be used to identify groups with strong connection among their members. Various algorithms have been developed to solve graph coloring problems, including exact and heuristic approaches. These algorithms can be used to find optimal solution or approximate optimal solution for various types of graph and coloring problems. Thus, graph coloring becomes a powerful tool in solving complex problems in various contexts. Next, impact of graph properties on coloring. Some graph properties such as density and structure can affect the complexity and efficiency of coloring algorithms. Dense graphs or those with complex structure may require more color to achieve proper coloring. Additionally, the connectivity of the graph also play a significant role in the coloring process. Tightly connected graph may be more challenging to color with a limited number of colors compared to graphs that are not tightly connected. And elimination of graph coloring. The effectiveness of Graph coloring can also be influenced by how the graph is represented. Different representation of the same graph can result in different coloring outcomes, which can be confusing and difficult to interpret. Therefore, choosing the appropriate graph representation becomes critical in the coloring process. Next, conclusion. In this paper, we provide an overview of the different types of graph coloring, exploring various subfields within this area of study. We cover several coloring methods and highlight significant results related to them, including mathematical properties, conjectures, complexities, and algorithm. Give the graph coloring is a vital, intriguing, and rapidly evolving branch of the graph theory, with new properties, conjectures, proof, and algorithm continually being developed and investigated by mathematicians and computer scientists worldwide. It is beneficial to offer future research information on different color methods, their properties and applications. Since this article is intended for computer scientists, we focus on the complexity results and algorithmic approach, particularly heuristic algorithms. I think that's all. Thank you.